Hey everyone, welcome back to This Homemade Life. If you're new, my name is Courtney, and today I am sharing a weekly meal prep video. I used to do these a lot more often, I don't know, a couple of months ago on my channel, and I kind of got out of the habit, and our lives have gotten busy. My kids are doing a bunch of different activities. Homeschool takes up a bunch of our time during the day, plus I have things I'm supposed to take care of around the house. And then with things going on in the evening, I am finding that our time is just limited. So I decided I've got to get back in the habit of meal prepping, getting things ready for the week, just to kind of make things flow a little bit smoother. So if you guys are interested in getting into meal prepping, I cannot sing its praises enough. It really does help me out. These are some ideas I'm sharing with you guys. Some breakfast, some lunch ideas, some veggies that you have prepped and ready to go for quick salads and sandwiches, things like that. It's super simple, but man, it will make such a huge difference in the way your week goes. I do want to take a quick second and thank you all for being here and supporting me and watching my videos. I appreciate it so, so much. It really does help me out when you guys click all the buttons, like, subscribe, the whole bit. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, but it totally helps me out at the end of the day. All right, so that is enough chatting. Let's jump in and see what I meal prepped for my family for this week.
So, as you can see, this week's meal prep is starting with pancakes. I did pick this box up from the Walmart clearance rack for $2, which I thought was a good price, but I would not buy it again. I made it according to the package directions, and I tasted a little bit from the first batch because, as you will see, 3 of my 4 first pancakes were great, and that fourth one was just a disaster. So I tasted of that, and these taste a lot like cardboard. Even when I put the chocolate syrup and the sprinkles on top, my kids, my youngest two, were not really all that thrilled with them. My oldest, who is 19, has eaten a couple of these, but I mean, he's 19. He's always hungry. He eats a lot of food. You know, take it for what it is. He might not be the best judge on pancakes. He shovels them in pretty quickly sometimes. Anyway, I just mixed it up according to the package directions, and then I put a little butter on my griddle and poured out my pancakes. And as you'll see, like I flipped the first two, and I was feeling really good about life because they were awesome and perfect. And that third one stuck a little bit, and it was a disaster. You know, the first batch is always a mess, right? Anyway, pancakes are a great, great meal prep item just because they hold over well in the fridge and the freezer. You can make a large batch all at once in very little time, and it's a great breakfast to have on hand. They look pretty, they just don't taste fantastic. Okay, so how about a sweet treat? I've kind of been in a mood for, I don't know, I don't want to say baking, just like making fun little treats. Kind of when I start getting into like my pantry cooking and I'm using up what I have, that's something I always go to is something to bake. So today I'm going to make some peanut butter Rice Krispie treats. These are actually very similar to a little treat I made at Christmas. I'll link that Christmas treat video below. The only difference is really that I'm using crunchy peanut butter and I'm using Rice Krispies. These are phenomenal. Now, I will say you need to judge really carefully, like if you want really firm ones, which is what I'm making. I'm using the full 6 cups, I think it is, of Rice Krispies. Versus if you want them to be a little softer, you'll want to go lighter, like maybe 4.5 to 5 cups of Rice Krispies. That way you have more of the sauce. And that is kind of the difference between these and the ones I made at Christmas. Those used, well, they call for Special K, but I had to use cornflakes because that's all I could get. And so they are a little softer when you eat them. So if it's something that, is a big deal to you, you might want to use the other recipe. I will, like I said, link it down below, and I will link the recipe for these in the description box. Either way, for me, these are fantastic. My husband adores them. Peanut butter is definitely one of my favorite things in the world, and I think that crunchy peanut butter, it's actually extra crunchy, adds some fun texture to these as well. So you just mix your sugar and your corn syrup and your peanut butter together in a pot and cook it on a low to medium heat. And it just takes a few minutes. I like to make sure that the sugar is fully dissolved so you don't have like that grainy texture in these till it's just a real smooth and silky sauce. That's when I think it's absolutely perfect. Now, I do go ahead and have my cereal measured out in a bowl because you want to work quickly. Once it hits that perfect spot, you're just pouring it in and stirring because this will seize up on you very quickly. Basically, we're making a candy here, so you have limited amount of time to really mix this and handle it before it starts to get really firm. So I mixed as quickly as I could, and then I poured this into a 9 by 13 casserole dish in a nice thin layer. You don't have to grease your casserole dish because there's so much peanut butter in here and the natural oil from peanuts it doesn't stick. But I did grease my hands when you see me kind of pat these down. And I do that just to make sure that they're packed in nicely and it's in a nice smooth layer and it keeps it from sticking to my hands. So I just spray a little nonstick cooking spray on my hands and just pat everything down really quickly. And that's it. These are really simple and easy to make. And most of us have all the ingredients on hand. The corn syrup's the only thing I don't or I wouldn't always have on hand, but I happen to have some and I whipped these up. They didn't take any time at all, but they are a fantastic treat. My whole family really does enjoy them, and it makes a good sized batch. I mean, they go a long way. It has taken us quite a few days to work our way through this, and there's 5 of us, and 4 of us are eating them. My middle son Cam, of course, he's a picky eater. He doesn't always eat everything. He doesn't love them, but there they are. They are so delicious. These things are addictive. All right, so let's talk some more breakfast. I made a fun breakfast for the kids. Let's make something great for adults. My husband really likes a nice breakfast sandwich, and I had this container of egg whites in my fridge. That right there. I needed to use it up. It expires in like a week or two. So I decided I was going to make some sandwiches because I also have English muffins in my fridge. I went ahead and just lined my glass bowl with parchment. I've seen people do this by just greasing the baking sheet and stuff. That never works for me. I always like to use parchment and I never have a problem. So I just lined it with parchment and I poured my egg whites in and then I seasoned with just salt and pepper. You can put whatever you want in there. If you want to put spinach in, you want to put ham in, whatever, go for it. I simply put in salt, pepper, and then a little bit of cheese. And as you can see, I'm trying to get that little corner to lay flat. It was kind of poking up a little bit and I wanted it to just lay flat in the dish. But I was pretty generous with the cheese because I don't have anything else in there. And then I'm going to put this in a 350-degree oven until it's baked all the way through. I can't give you an exact time. Just check it every 5 minutes after the first 10 minutes because once it starts cooking all the way through, it goes fairly quickly and you don't want to burn your eggs. And then you can just pull them out and let them cool, which you'll see me do here in just a little while. So while those were cooking, I went to work on cooking some bacon. I had some turkey bacon in my freezer that I pulled out and thawed, and I thought it would be perfect. This is, I think it's campfire flavored turkey bacon. HEB makes it. So I just cut it in half and then threw it in a skillet. These little half-size pieces are going to be perfect for breakfast sandwiches. And I cooked the entire package. Whatever doesn't fit on the sandwiches, my oldest son Xander will enjoy eating because he loves bacon. He doesn't care if it's pork or turkey. He eats all of it. Usually I will cook turkey bacon in the microwave, but today I just kind of felt like doing it on the skillet. It does take a little more time and it's more involved because you have to be on top of it. But it's not challenging to cook and it's not nearly as messy as traditional bacon because there's not grease popping everywhere. It didn't take long at all, and before I knew it, I had cooked up the entire package of bacon. It smelled delicious. I tasted one little piece, and that campfire seasoning really is nice. I wish it was something we could buy year round, but it's one of their seasonal things. And there are the eggs. I know they look super puffy. Don't worry, they flatten out after like 2 or 3 minutes. So I pulled out some English muffins that I had just hanging out in my fridge, and I went to work cutting them in half. I like to use a fork just because it kind of preserves a little bit of that texture. I don't know why. That's just the way I've always done it. Anyway, I did only have enough egg whites in that bowl for 4 sandwiches. That was a small baking dish. So I'm only cutting in half 4 of these English muffins. And once I get those guys split in half, I'm going to pull my eggs over and we're going to put a little bit of eggs with the cheese mixture in there. And then we're going to top it with that turkey bacon. Now, like I said, you could put whatever you want in the eggs. So if you wanted to load it with veggies, you could have a vegetable egg sandwich. Or if you wanted to go ahead and mix like sausage or ham in there, it's all ready to go. You don't have to worry about cooking bacon on the side. Really, whatever works for you and whatever you have in your fridge and freezer is going to be absolutely perfect. If it was me, I would love some spinach and some mushrooms and maybe a little bit of onion in here. But my husband does not like vegetables in his eggs. So no big deal. I just cooked them like this. And it was super simple. And then I like to wrap mine up in Glad press and seal. I just really prefer it. I think it's easier to work with. It seals really well. I don't have to worry about sticking these in anything else. I just pop these in my fridge and they'll stay in there, for the next couple of days as he eats on them. Now, if I was going to be keeping them longer than this particular week, I would put them in the freezer. And to do that, I would wrap them each in like wax paper or parchment paper, butcher paper, and then I would put each of those inside of a zip top bag. And you can keep them in your freezer. I think they stay good for like 60 days. So, whatever works for you, whatever you need to do. If you want to make larger batches, that works too. I've done that before in the past, and it is so convenient. All right, so on to just some regular meal prep for me veggies. I eat a lot of salad. We really enjoy salad. Sometimes I serve more salads than others. But I went to work processing some of the veggies I had just purchased and then I still had in my fridge. I started with these two cucumbers. So I wanted to make salads this week that we'll be eating on. I also never got around to making hummus to dip these in, and I'm hoping to do that this week. I have not done it yet though. And I wanted some cucumber sandwiches. I do have some cream cheese in my fridge that needs to be used up. So I thought it would be the perfect pairing. You know, if you've never tried it, sliced cucumber, cream cheese, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. It makes the best sandwich. It's so light and delicious and flavorful and refreshing. It's amazing. So I went to work chopping or slicing these pretty thinly because I did want to use them for sandwiches as well. I like a nice thin cucumber for that. You can layer more than one cucumber on. I just like the thinness just because they're pliable and things like that. This size also works great for salads. And if I wanted to make any other kind of sandwiches, because I do have some turkey in my fridge, then this would be perfect for that as well. I think cucumbers are really versatile. I can dip them in stuff as too. They just really are good for a lot of different things. So I think they're the perfect meal prep veggie, if you ask me. After that, I'm going to work on some other vegetables. As you can see, I have some mini bell peppers hanging out over there. I did wash those guys once I pulled them out of the bag, and I'm just going to thinly slice them. These are also for sandwiches and salads. It's just so much easier, and I'm so much more prone to eat salads and serve salads if everything is in my fridge ready to go. Same for veggies and dip. During the summer, especially, I love serving veggies with dip as a side dish in place of salad just to kind of shake things up. And if everything is all sliced and ready to go, one, it makes my nightly routine for dinner so much more simple. And two, I'm a lot more prone to serve it to people and to eat it because it is easier. So, just a little tip if you're trying to eat healthier, process all of your fruits and veggies. You are far more likely to use them that way. I promise that's just the way it works out. Anyway, I sliced up all those guys. I think these little sliced up strips are perfect. You can dip them, you can eat them in your salad, you can put them in your eggs if you wanted to make like omelets every morning. Omelets also freeze really, really well, by the way, if you're doing some meal prep. All right, next I have some radishes. I'm only using half of that baggie because I only knew we would need half that baggie right now. I'll save the other half for probably next week. I love radishes. They're phenomenal. I love the flavor. That little bite that they have is so absolutely delicious. My husband and my oldest son both also love them. I enjoy them in salads and sandwiches, just like everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and slice these up so I can put them on a sandwich if I want to, or I could just throw them on whatever salad I'm serving with dinner or whatever, and they're ready to go. These I like sliced just like that. I know some people chop them or turn them into matchsticks. I just don't like this because I think it's simple and it's easy. And if I wanted to, I could also dip these. These are so good dipped in just like ranch dressing. Oh my gosh. They pair beautifully with ranch. I have also seen recently people pickling them, and I am really interested in that. So I am hoping to find a recipe for that soon and give it a try just because, like I said, I love radishes and I think pickled radishes would be absolutely amazing. And next, we're going to work on tomatoes. That first one, I don't know what I was thinking. I like halved it and then quartered it and stuff. And I'm like, well, that doesn't work for sandwiches. So that guy definitely has to be used on a salad. But the rest of these guys are going to be used on sandwiches, which is actually perfect because if you watched my grocery haul, you know, I mentioned that I had a ton of bacon that I needed to use up in my freezer. Tonight, my kids have gymnastics and stuff. It's a busy night. So we are totally having BLTs. These tomatoes are already sliced for me and ready to go. All I had to do was cook the bacon. This is going to be such an easy meal because these are ready to go. And I am serving potato salad, I think, on the side. But if I want to, I may also throw out some veggies and dip because I picked some clearance dip up this weekend. And all the veggies are sliced and ready for me. Next, I had these green onions that were hanging out in my fridge. I needed one bundle, so I bought two last week, and I only used one bundle, so these guys had no real purpose. I decided that we're certainly not going to waste them because I love green onions. My husband does too. I just went ahead and chopped them up, and I thought, well, I'll throw them on a salad, I'll throw them on a sandwich, I'll throw them somewhere. I actually ended up using half of them in some potato salad today. Look for that video. It is loaded baked potato salad. I'm super excited about it. I have not eaten any yet because I just made it and I have it chilling in my fridge, but I'm so excited about it because it looked and smelled absolutely amazing. Anyway, these guys will hang out in my fridge for probably 4 days before I have to worry about them, maybe even 5. And it's not a whole ton of green onions. They will be gone by the time that rolls around. And like I said, meal prepping makes you more likely to eat them. And I have already used up a number of these things because they were chopped and ready to go in my fridge. It made it easier for me to make sandwiches and stuff for myself and for everybody else today because it was quick and it was simple and it was ready to go. So I promise that advice is solid. It's already, paid off for me on day one, and today is only Monday. Of course, by the time you guys do this, it'll be Wednesday, and I bet we have eaten a lot more of it because I will have to make a lot more lunches between now and then. But anyway, let's look at what was it? Oh, yes, I made my husband's lunches for the week. And I'm not doing a voiceover for that because I actually did film myself talking on that one. So let's go ahead and see what it is I made for him for his lunches for this week. Okay, first things first, I'm making lunch for my husband. I had half a bag of those frozen meatballs. If you watch my grocery plan, you know he talked about how much he loved them. Why don't I make them more often? So here we go. This is what was left over the other day. I just tossed it in the freezer because he said that. I was going to eat it for lunch or let my oldest eat it, but I thought, well, I'll save it and this will be a great lunch. So that's what was left from the other day, plus the rest of the frozen meatballs. And again, I am working with what it is I have, which is a can of cranberries. Or cranberry sauce. There we go. And some chili sauce. To me, any kind of fruit, like jam or jelly or whatever, is great. Jalapeno jelly was fantastic. I've done that before. And as long as you put in the chili sauce for a little bit of like a bite to it, you're good. Hang on, let me get some onion powder for this. Definitely need some onion powder. As you can see, I mentioned I am no longer using my store spice rack thing for spices, but doesn't that look nice? I love the look of all these boxes, the way they line up. Anyway, the rest of my pantry is a hot mess, so no peeking, guys. It's awful. Here we go. Onion powder. We're going to just try to take the lid off of this with one hand because my camera currently needs batteries and I don't have any in it. So I just grabbed my phone. So I'm doing this one-handed. All right. So onion powder, and I get a little generous. The other day, I forgot to put it in the video. I did actually sprinkle some on later, but I totally forgot to show it. And I think I could have sprinkled a little more. So this time I did definitely put a little bit more. And I'm going to add some fresh ground black pepper. So everything in here is cooked. Nothing is raw. We're really just heating this up to make sure that all the flavors kind of like meld together and stuff. And it makes like that really good sauce. The meatballs thaw. So I'm going to put this, I'm using my Ninja FOODIE because that is my slow cooker and my pressure cooker and my, it does like, what do you call it? Air frying. It does all the things. I love this thing. If you guys do not have a Ninja FOODIE, man, I love this guy. I know I do own a second air fryer over there, but this was my first, and I love this guy because it does so many things. So I don't have to have a crock pot and an Instant Pot and all that stuff. I just have this guy, and he does all the things. He has a little basket that fits in here for when I air fry. It's awesome. I will do my best to link one down below if you guys are interested. This is definitely like my favorite kitchen appliance just because it saves so much space and everything. These are still a little frozen. I did put them in the microwave to try to thaw them a little bit. That's okay. They will melt. We're just going to mix everything together to kind of break up the cranberry sauce. So it's not like just a blob of cranberry sauce. You can use whole cranberry sauce, which I used the other day, or this one is just jellied cranberry sauce because that's what I had. Either way works. Just kind of get it all mixed up in here so that everybody can get in some of that delicious sauce. And then we just put the lid on and let this cook. You can let it cook as long as you want. I just have mine going for 4 hours. And that'll be fine because it'll thaw the meatballs the sauce will make. So while this is doing its thing, I'm going to clean house, but I'm also going to cook a pot of rice. So for my husband to take lunches every day for at least 4 days. I try to do 5, but sometimes he only gets 4 lunches. It takes like 2 cups of uncooked rice, and that'll be enough for the whole week for something like this. You could serve this over noodles if you wanted to, or over mashed potatoes. I just find that rice is easy and it's very cost effective. So there is the finished product. I did actually show this in my What's for Dinner video on Monday. I will link that down below if you are interested in seeing what we ate that week. Everything was delicious, but we ate this, and that's why I'm making it for my husband's lunches because I served it. He loved it, and he asked why we don't have it more. So he is having it for a whole week, and he could not be happier. Yeah, this is probably not the healthiest meal for lunches, but every once in a while you can't always have the healthiest thing. Sometimes you just need to serve what you have or what works. And this was super quick and easy to throw together, which kind of gave me a lot more time to do some other stuff like clean my house and meal prep some other items. So it was really nice and convenient. This made more than just the 5 bowls you see. Those 5 bowls are his lunch. And then I have one extra bowl that my oldest son will be eating for lunch one day this week. So it worked out pretty nicely. It was 6 lunches in total, and those are pretty good sized servings. All right, so the last thing are these strawberry oatmeal muffins. So it calls for 2 bananas. I had some in my freezer. I let them thaw a little bit, and now I'm just kind of squeezing them out. I freeze mine in the peel. I don't know if you have to or not. I don't think you have to. I just do. It's just simple because I just kind of throw them in there, and then later I'll put them in a bag when I have time. I started off by mushing those bananas up with a fork and then realized I still have to chop up these strawberries that I thought I bought these buy one get one free a week or two ago, and I just kind of roughly chopped them and threw them in the freezer. So I took out about a quarter cup of them, and now I'm just chopping them with my meat masher there. It works out great for stuff like this. It's mashing the banana, it's breaking down the strawberry a little bit more. It really is a multi-purpose tool. I love that thing. And I paid $1 from Dollar Tree back before they were $1.25. All right, the next ingredient is some peanut butter. I think it's like half a cup of peanut butter. I'm using smooth and creamy because that recipe calls for almond butter. And I didn't know texturally how extra crunchy would work out, but I will tell you next time I'll put an extra crunchy. Texture won't hurt one bit. And then my camera stopped working, but in that time I did mix in 2 cups of oats. I mixed it all together, and now I'm just going to put it on a cookie sheet with my little cookie scoop there. And we're going to bake this 350 degrees for like 14 minutes was about all it took. And these guys came out and they were so perfect and delicious. They smelled amazing. I've already tasted one. My husband ate one. They're nice and healthy. They're not super sweet or anything, but they taste so, so good. These are going to be a great little grab and go breakfast treat for everyone. My husband only got 4 sandwiches, so he'll need something else as well, plus my oldest and my 2 kids. These are really nice. They taste good. They were easy to make, and I feel good about them because the ingredients are so clean and simple that I'm not like pumping them full of sugar. These were really, really good.
All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. I hope that these ideas kind of inspired you guys for things you can start meal prepping in your home for your family to make your weeks easier. Plus, like I pointed out in the video, if I have sliced the veggies, chopped the veggies, done all of that stuff, I am much more likely to eat the healthier foods that I want to eat than if I go in there and I'm like, oh, I have to chop everything to make a salad. I'm going to go, oh, I'm just going to have pizza rolls, or oh, I'm just going to make something else that's not as healthy, something that's quick. So having the stuff prepped and ready to go means that I'm going to eat it. And let's be honest, guys, I'm not getting any younger, but my waistline needs to get smaller. So I definitely need to think about eating a little bit healthier. I'm sure some of you guys know the struggle just like I do. Having those veggies and fruits and all that kind of stuff ready to go just makes me a lot more prone to eat healthy like I need to be doing. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Make sure you click all the buttons, like, subscribe, the whole bit. I appreciate it so much. And I will be back here on Friday for my weekly grocery haul. If you're new, I do one every single Friday, and I always include prices plus a meal plan. I hope I see you guys there. Have an awesome week. Bye.